Hey guys, Anthony Keto Fit Dad. What I want to talk about is, and I've seen it a lot on some groups and over the past couple of days, where people are getting into the keto diet and getting into the keto way of eating or lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, is ketones and counting ketones, measuring your ketone level. Don't measure ketones. It doesn't matter. As Luis Villaseñor on Keto Gains is very famous for saying, don't chase ketones, chase results. It doesn't, as long as you're eating under 30 grams of carbs a day, and when you're starting off, I'm talking 30 grams total, not net. You're better off counting total carbs until you're fat adapted, which can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months to even 6 months, depending on the individual. Eat under 30 grams of carbs, you are in ketosis. That's it. Maybe even 20 when you're just starting off, just to get used to it. And that's carbs, not net carbs. Throw that net carb shit out the window for a while. If you want to look into some of the science behind this or a really good explanation on why this doesn't work, I'm going to post some links down below. But if you want to have something physical in your hands, and something I believe will actually help you quite a bit when it comes to this diet and just figuring things out and getting to know a bit of information, go to your local bookstore. If they carry it, buy it from them. If not, use Amazon or Chapters Indigo if you live in Canada, and pick up this book. It's Low Carb Living. The Art and Science of Low Carb Living by Jeff Volek and Stephen Piney. Is a great book, has lots of info. If you go to page 164, 165, it talks about all these ways of measuring ketones and why they're not optimal. So I'll briefly touch on those right away before I sign off of this video. You're gonna admit the first one, most popular one because it's the cheapest, is gonna be measuring your ketones with keto sticks, which are urine strips. First of all, what I don't like with that is it's urine. Urine is a waste product anyways. It's a waste of your system. It's stuff your body's not using. So while there might be ketones, personally I haven't had a keto stick register for me the longest time. I don't even have them anymore because I threw them in the garbage. They were expired. But a lot of times they wouldn't register for me because, say I was at work, I was drinking a lot of water, so I was very well hydrated. It wouldn't register because of that, for me at least. And like I said, it's a waste product. This is what your body's not using, so who cares if it's in there anyways. Keto stick, remember, the keto stick was designed for type 1 diabetics to make sure they're not going into ketoacidosis, which is very, very, very different from nutritional ketosis. So don't just throw them away, don't worry about them. Another popular thing some people use, I got one here. I bought it sometime last year. You know where this sits? This sits in my dresser, my nightstand, whatever you want to call it, and hasn't moved since I bought it. It's a blood ketone meter. I bought it because I thought it'd be neat to see what my body does eating different food sources, see where my blood sugars go. Never got around to doing it because I hate needles and I don't want to prick myself in the finger, so it's a great waste of money. But you don't need to, there's not an optimal ketogenic range. Some people will be like, oh well, or I've seen some posts saying like, you need to be 1 to 1.5 to optimally burn fat. Some people will be at, if you are at 0.2 for your keto, I think it's millimoles per deciliter is the proper measurement, you're in ketosis. That's it. As I've seen some people post, they check their ketones when they're working out, they'll be 0.2, which is low. But guess what? You're still in ketosis. If you're low in ketones like that in your bloodstream and your serum, your body is using the ketones you're producing. You don't need an excess in them in your bloodstream to be in ketosis and necessarily lose weight. The other one that is not as popular, but it's not as invasive, you don't have to stab yourself, is, and again, this sits in my dresser all the time, so I don't use it, is a Ketonix, which is a little, it's like a breathalyzer basically. Flashes LEDs inside here to tell you exactly what your ketone level is. Every time I've ever used this thing, I've only ever been green, which I don't even know what that corresponds to. I know if I remember right, it measures the acetate, or is it acetoacetate in your breath? And they say that's, I mean, out of the 3 options, that's the one I would pick because it's more accurate than the keto. If you really wanted to measure, which you don't need to do, I would pick the Ketonix. Yes, it's more expensive. One, you don't have to stab yourself in the finger, and you're not looking at a waste product. Quickly go back to the keto, the keto sticks. Just because ketones are showing up in your, you know, a lot of people will use them. They'll, you know, eat too many carbs or have a little carb up and think, oh my God, and they use keto stick to check. Is, well, you're expelling that. It doesn't mean just because there's ketones in your urine, you're expelling that doesn't mean you're still in ketosis. That's already been processed by your liver and it's got to go through your body. So just because they're in there doesn't mean you're necessarily still in ketosis. You want to stay in ketosis, eat less than 30 grams of carbohydrates. Boom, you're in ketosis. That's all you got to do. So I hope that sheds a bit of light onto why you don't need to chase ketones, why you don't need to measure ketones. If you're doing the ketogenic diet for neurological disorders, yes, you should worry about ketone levels. I'm not the person to talk to about that because I don't know anything about it. I'm doing this for just my general well-being and weight loss. So if you're doing that, please do the research, or you probably already know the research, in which case you shouldn't worry. But if you are doing it for some sort of neurological disease, there's more information out there. Get information from a doctor that's trained in a low carbohydrate or ketogenic diet and figure out what's optimal for you. But for most people who are utilizing a low carb or ketogenic diet for losing weight, ketones don't matter. Don't chase your ketones. Questions or comments? Post them down below. See you later.